We will have kind of working time for the fact sheets on next Friday. So if you don't have a final scheduled during that time, please do join us. This a little kind of and we'll do a bit of like debrief, and we'll ask you to fill out another survey kind of assessing what the experience and what you learned over the course of this semester. This week in the note taker role, we have Maya and Chelsea as our lead note takers. Onyekachi is the lead creator for the process-based crop model fact sheet, and then Catherine, we have you as our lead editor for today's fact sheet. I'm going to share a link in the chat box here for assessing everyone's availability for next semester. We would like, it's a when to meet link, and note that it's in Central Time, so please state your availability for that for our weekly meetings. We may just keep it to this time, but if this absolutely does not work, please let us know. And note that next semester we will be doing a few of these seminars and talks with fact sheets, but we're also going to be expanding it to working on projects. So you will all get an opportunity to work on something as a team in small groups on a couple projects of your choice. Let's see, Luke, is there any sort of logistical things that I am forgetting before I introduce our speaker today?
No, I think you got it. It's just
Okay.
hard to believe that we've made it through one semester. So
I know.
hopefully everyone has enjoyed themselves. Yeah. But no, I think you got all of it.
All right. Well, yes, I am also just amazed that we're here already. So I'm so thankful that you've all been part of this process. Um, so before we kick things off, does anyone have any questions or comments before we get started here? Okay. All right. So today we're hearing from Dr. Fenghui Yuan on the topic of process-based crop models. This is a topic near and dear to my heart. I did a great deal of my dissertation on a crop model called AgroBGC. But Fenghui is a postdoc in soil, water, and climate here at the University of Minnesota. And his research involves biogeochemical cycling in vegetative environments, including agriculture and forestry. And it's just, I'm so thankful he came to join us today to share with us about his research. So take it away.
Thank you, Nadia. My name is Fenghui. I think some people may be familiar with me. As Nadia mentioned, my research mostly focusing on the biogeochemical process, like greenhouse gas emissions. Not only focusing on the crop ecosystem, I also focusing on the other like forest, peatland, also grassland ecosystem. I have been involved in the ai-leaf project almost 2 years. That I really interested in the crop in systems. So it's very glad to have this opportunity to share some knowledge on the process-based crop model. I heard some of students from the computer science and some from the like agriculture, soil, biology. I will try my best to keep my steps slowly. If you have any questions, you can just let me know. I hope I can help you, with different aspects. Okay, so I will start. So yeah, the goal of this lecture, I just try to let you understand the very basic knowledge on on what the process-based models are, why they are so helpful, and how those process-based models are constructed. So I that because the process-based model is so complex, I welcome your questions or concerns after this class if we have not enough time to discuss the details. During the class, there's a simple agenda that will have an icebreaker and mostly focusing on the big picture, the process model, then the structures, knowledge, then how we can build simple process models. I will have 2 accent activities to make you more familiar with such information. Okay, here we go. So if you have some information, just leave your message in the chat. List 2 things that make you happy every day. Here I give some examples. Like you need 5 hours sleep, or a double cup of coffee, or like you have the pet, you want to pet your have several times. Yeah, we will have 2 minutes for your input on chat. Thank you. Okay, I see some people after that, the cat, the dog, the families, and the coffee, and that's quotidian to make tea also, and they're cooking, friend visit, candle making, cool, mountains. Okay, that's good food. Exercise. That's an orange cat. So cool. Okay, so let's stop here. Why I want you show the information? Because these are very I don't know it worked. It didn't work so good. Sorry. Yeah. These are very simple models. I will let you know why. So the first question is, what are the models? Just not in our scientific areas. Maybe you think, that's a beautiful lady, the handsome, the gentleman like that. And we also thought, these are maybe the housing models. Like when we, as a kid, we may play the Lego to do different models. But in our scientific fields, we just want to build models to present the real world object or the systems, just to simple all the complex, either the processes or the systems. Just let the people to understand how does it work. If we build a simple models, then we can make the predictions with our current knowledge. So as our questions, icebreaker questions, so our purpose want to get the happiness or have a nice day. So we have the coffee, have the pet, do the exercise, do making the tea. It's all like the factors can affect our happiness. That's very simple simple input in equation or functional in the scientific fields. So there are different models. I assume they have already attended many lectures in previous. In this program, many instructors may introduce the AI models and the agriculture knowledge, also like the statistic models. So the processed models, the more complex than the other two, just in my mind. So for the first models, we can see on the right part, they just basic based on the basic observations. For example, we have the X and we have a Y. We want to get the predictions for Y, then we just build the direct connections with X and use the statistical method or miscellaneous method. We can build their connections. If we have more input, like the more axis, then like this. That is conceptual workflow, but different from those two types of models. For the process model, we maybe use consider there's many medial process, not a direct. It's just indirect ways, because in our real world, most relationships among the things are not linear. It's non-linear. So we assume there may be like the more than 3 process, like the 1, the 2, the 3, or the 4. So here it's a workflow like this. For example, from X to Y, X is the input, Y is the output. We will just involve the more process models. In both models, they may consider, that's a choice. Maybe we don't go this way, maybe go another way. That's the simple process, thinking about in those models. Then here is the examples. It's published in 1980s. It's a very simple photosynthesis models. We can say that in this workflows, their target is to try to understand how the plants use the carbon to increase their biomass. We can say they need the light, and they are also involved some photosynthesis applications to control the photosynthesis. Then when the stem, like the shoot, get more carbon, they can give the feedback from the leaf surface to the photosynthesis, because the leaf area will increase with more the carbon, more biomass. So that's like a very simple loop for the process-based model. Now let's thinking about the structure of a process-based model. So these are previous, so the simple workflow. We have already know the input and the output. It's very easier to understand, right? So, but for the whole part, we need to consider how to represent those different process and the whole workflow. It's a algorithm. So here, this process, we need to use our knowledge to quantify those whole systems. how we can quantify those processes? We need the prior knowledge, like a series observations. Most of those based the current knowledge from the publications, from the scientific experiments, or even some other field studies like the practice studies. This all those information can guide the construction of the process-based model. Then we use mathematical equations to represent those processes. It's just a simple examples. We can say maybe it's a linear relationship, it's a non-linear relationship. So in this equations, we have different variables and their parameter. These are two important concepts or definitions for the process-based model. The variables, they are measuring the contributor or the factors to represent the different data, like the x0, x1 is related to different input or control factors. The parameters, like in the equation, so the a, b to z, so those parameters help the function to control the weights, to do the model of functions constraint. And I think you also know the very basic mathematical equations, so it's easier to understand the parameters importance. So here the keys for the equations or representations in the model is the function type. As I mentioned, it have different types, maybe not the linear relationship, and there are many different parameters in different functions. So those parameter values will factor the model performance very strongly. That's why those two parts are very important to the process-based model. After we got the functions, then we do the coding work with different program language. So it's just a simple structure and the ways to achieve the process-based models construction. But in the process-based model, not like just one layers. For each variables, as we mentioned, they can also have their own models of functions or equations. So like we will have the second layers. And we can also assume for each second levels variables, they may have the third one. I mean, they may be the third layers, 4 layers, just like a family tree. So that's why the process model structure should be very complex. It can also very simple. It depends our targeted process. So far, any questions? Okay. Let's keep moving. So here it's a very simple summary, just compared across different models. Again, see here, for the process-based models, call those magnetic, because as I showed, it can explain and understand many detailed process, and it didn't consider not only direct pathway for the relationship between the input and the output, they also consider the indirect, and so that they need the higher unexpected knowledge of data to construct or represent those different process. With those methods, it can easily to do the prediction for those specific process, and they have their higher interpretabilities to understand which process may be very important, or which parameter or variables are important to control the output or modeling performance. So here I want to try to explain the detailed for other models. I assume you have already got the knowledge for the AI models and the empirical models. So here we have a breakout activity. Here, especially in the most processed models, as we saw that they have many different processes. Each process can named like the model, or we can say the module. So a whole process-based model system, it is composed by those different modules. From the left plot, you can see our whole ecosystems, they related to the like the hydrology, like the energy process, and we also include the biogeochemical cyclings. Those big concepts also include a very detailed process, like you mentioned the yield, under the chemical process, the microbial process. Those detailed process all under those big systems. Just to consider again, like the puzzles, we can say each module is a pieces of the process of many models. So in the process model, we just to connect those different pieces together, then we get the whole understanding of for the whole systems. So how we can connect those modules? They are the very important the component. It's the coupler. The coupling, we can say, we need couplings. We need to build a robust connections with different modules or process. So because they may share the same input, they may share some like very key important parameter. They also need to transfer the different information across different modules. Here is the examples. The right side, these are framework for the community land models. In these models, it have very, complex components for different process, like the plant physiological. It included the different process for leaf, for stem, for root, and they also related to soil biochemical part, like you mentioned microbial process, chemical process, and they also related to the manager part, like the natural disturbance, the fair, the harvester, also have their the agriculture practice, like the fertilizer, the harvest, ingredients like that. So those each part here we can say each color represents different modules. So that's just a big pictures for those different modules. But for the technical details, we need to think about how we build strong connections with this. So next, we can see those different modules of the process. It's hard to build together just for one time. It spent a long history for us, for the scientists to develop the whole system. Here, it's also examples for the community land models from the 1970s. It just considered the another partition, another process. Let's we can think from the solars to the earth, then go through the canopy, then go into the soil, then just came out to hit our soil surface, do the leaf temperature heating like this. Then they just consider the simple the leaf stem process and consider the soil moisture. So this still very simple with our knowledge development. Then the scientists include mode information on the models like plant functional types, the dynamic vegetation, the development, also consider the hydrology process like the river, the wetland, groundwater. Then they involve the crop managers practice and consider more detail like the hydrology flow, like lateral flows. So it spent the didactic time to develop those models. So this just shows how complex in the real the process with model. Then here we okay. Sorry, I think here I missed some. Oh, sorry, just wait a second. I think I missed some. Oh, here. Oh. Yeah. Oh, yeah, this way. Here, so let's based those knowledge, think about simple models, how we can understand the whole process. Just based simple process-based models for the maize yield. So these are very simple structure for these models. We input the weather, just input the rainfall for the agricultural system, then consider the soil moisture, the nutrients. Here we didn't consider like the micro, so detailed same informations, and then there's some parameter to control the crop physiological, like the max leaf area index, the harvest index, and consider the management levels, like fertilizer rates. Then in that models, we will consider the climate controls, the normal time. It's helpful for the group, for the plant growth and the phenology, the biomass growth, biomass partition to the grain, and also the nitrogen, the new nitrogen's limitations. The single output is grain. I will share the link later. And in the simple models, we just base those knowledge or equations. It's a workflow. Here we can see the fertilizer in a factor, the nitrogen output, the photosynthesis, the leaf area. Then in the plant we get the biomass growth, then get the yield. Related, so that's a different equation related to different process. As I mentioned, here the different process we can see a very minor module. They have specific equation functions. I think I don't have enough time to explain the other equations. If you have any questions, you can ask me later. I just want to understand the whole build the process for the models. So I think we give more time to do the practice. Here is a link for the model build. We will have 3 groups. Then each group can choose a scenario. I will share. So here, I will share my seed here. So there's 5 seeds. The first is the main seed. It's just the original simulations. In this set, you can see here the parameters is related to parameters under the input, where input it's under the function that I have already is organized in the state, so that the yield output just single values. You can also plot the change, like the with growth, the leaf area change with following the dates, and these are original set. For each group, you can choose one set to change like the radiation. Under this one, you can change the rain. These two just the input scenario. And we can also change the parameters like the fertilizer rate, and here change the light use rate. Then you can compare the values change between the original value and the updated values. This will help you to understand the model's response to different input or parameters. During the practice, if you have any questions, you can let me know. Thank you everyone for this activity. So it's just a message. I mean, for the process-based model, we should realize the process-based model. It's much mechanistic process than other models. this model involved different knowledge, not only the agriculture. It also considers the physiological parts like the climate, energy processes. They also need the mathematics knowledge to build the equations. We also need the computer science knowledge to do the coding and do the better the compliance process. We also need the policy or management information to give the input drivers. So that's why I think the most people with different background can be involved in the process-based models. So after the class, you can consider some questions. For example, how can those different knowledge strengthen the process-based models performance? Like some knowledge can use it to improve the equation functions. Some information can constrain the parameter the calculations, and some data, the policy data, can give more information on the manager per test scenario like this. The second idea may most likely the box said all the models are wrong because it's not the real world tools, but some are also useful. So let's think about how the process model, how can them guide the real world decision. For example, maybe you change the per test scenario to find a good balance between the nutrient, the yield, and the water quality. Yeah, just some ideas on the application of the process-based model.